So under this hood is a 702 horsepower, 650 pound-feet of torque Hellcat engine. It's a 6.2 liter supercharged V8. By the way, my one complaint is that this engine cover kind of ruins it. You can actually see inside of here if you look down, but that kind of ruins the view, but not going to complain too much. So I absolutely love how this truck looks. It has so many badges, accents. It is so cool. You get heat extractors up here, a 6.2 liter supercharged badge right there. You get an air intake to feed air into that engine right over here. Same thing on this right hand side. The front end of this thing looks like an absolute beast. Massive tires, TRX badge, functional vent. Moving along to the back, same thing with your wheels and tires in the back here. And this one has a war badge. I'm not too sure why. You get another TRX badge and a Hellcat badge. That is absolutely awesome. Not to mention huge exhaust tips that sound incredible. You'll hear it in just a moment. And I don't want to miss out on, you don't want to miss out on this either. These back seats, first of all, even the door panel has a cool design, but these back seats are so nice, so roomy. I mean, I would actually prefer to be chauffeured in this thing. This would be a very comfortable ride. You even get carbon fiber in the back, heated and cooled seats for the backseat passengers. And yeah, the interior design is insane for a truck. Absolutely insane. Let's go ahead and hop in this thing, take it for a drive, and see how it does drive. Before we get into it, big thank you to Chanel from Mark, Fick, and Ford for giving us this vehicle to review. This is for sale. Check it out using the link in the description. And guys, Harman & Kardon sound system, huge infotainment system, TRX plaque and badges absolutely everywhere, wireless charging pad. Guys, the list could just go on and on and on. This is insane. If you do want to buy this truck, if you're interested, by the way, I put the link in the description. This is an incredible deal for $80,000. Maybe better than a Hellcat if you're somebody that actually wants, you know, the practicality and you like trucks. Wow. Okay, let's go ahead and throw this thing into sport mode real quick. You have configurable drive modes in this thing. Of course, a lot of them are built for taking this thing off-roading. Rock, Baja, and let's go to sport. Guys, this infotainment system, by the way, also has a lot of similar stuff as the Hellcats in the Scat Packs. You have the same system with tracking your 0 to 60 times, 60 feet, 330 feet, 0 to 100, quarter mile, all that good stuff. You get your gauges. You even have your dyno chart in here. That is super cool. This shows you about 120 seconds of history. If you increase it, yep, the max is 120 seconds. It'll show you how much horsepower and torque you've used, as well as your RPM band. You get a G-force meter in this truck because why not? You get your pitch and your roll. You have heated and cooled seats up here. I mean, you have a hidden storage space. A absolutely massive storage space down here. A better question is just what does this truck not have? It has all the amenities, it has all the comfort, it has all the design elements that you need in a super cool truck. You have launch control. You literally have launch control in the TRX. I mean, this is insane. All right, let's do it. Let's go for a drive. Now, right away, I will say that if you have not driven trucks before, this is a huge one. So it takes some getting used to the dimensions of this thing. I mean, you feel like you could just ram through anything. That's funny, this is literally called a ram. It is, oh, it has a lot of presence on the road too. I believe that's a F250, and we are riding about just as high as he is. And we're gonna wait because I cannot see. F350, sorry, that is, yeah, that's a big boy right there. All right, here we go. Let's see how this thing sounds and accelerates. Holy crap! All right. This truck weighs 6,400 pounds. Oh my gosh, that sounded menacing, and it moves. All right, that was my first acceleration in this thing, and that was the absolute last thing that I was expecting from this truck. Holy moly. Guys, when I first got in this thing, I was expecting, you know what, okay, a Hellcat engine, but it's super heavy. I mean, no way it has like a luxurious interior, right? Nope, it has literally everything you could possibly want. Wow. Oh my gosh. I mean, you can barely even see that car right there. This is a huge truck. I know some of you guys like that. I mean, this is maybe, I would say, a little bit too big for my liking. I would have to just get used to this, but you feel like a king. And not only, you are a king. You literally are a king. You're sitting like a king. You have the interior of a king, and the acceleration that, well, yeah, say goodbye to all the peasants that are around you, because this thing will pass them in half a second. And to really touch a little bit more on the design elements of this thing, I mean, the plaques, the badges, I mean, you could spot probably like 3-4 badges from just the angle. You have to kind of look around to see them. But even the paddle shifters have this like sort of cut design. I mean, there was a lot of thought that went into making this truck, and that's something that is super cool in my opinion. And just cruising around, you are riding higher than just about everybody around you. This is, yeah, this is incredible. So much power too. It's easy to just jump to the conclusion that because this weighs over 6,000, it's not going to move. I think this almost feels faster than, well, actually, yes, I'm going to say it feels faster than the Challenger Hellcat jailbreak I drove, because this will actually grip. It makes sense to have all of that power when you have those tires and you have 6,400 pounds that weighs this car down. When you're in the Hellcat driving that jailbreak, I mean, you can't grip it. So it doesn't feel fast because you're just spinning the entire time unless you really ease on the throttle. But this one, you can actually just jump straight to flooring this thing and it will seriously move it. You fly. And yeah, be careful because you got a 6,400 pound tank flying. This will do 0 to 60 in 4.5 seconds and the quarter mile in around 12.5 seconds, which is absolutely absurd for a vehicle that weighs this much. And this is something I would absolutely love to take off-roading because you definitely could. Oh my gosh, the exhaust on this thing sounds incredible. That is insane. You get to put all of that power down immediately and not worry about spinning out. Like, you could probably actually launch the crap out of this thing and you'd be perfectly fine. This is an incredible truck to drive. Even the paddle shifters, you gotta really like click them. Everything's just manly in this car. I really like it. It flows together very, very nicely. And even the exterior design of this car, like, it all is so good. The black and white accents, the badges, the Hellcat badge in the back, the war badges, a very interesting touch to this thing. But it's all just so amazing to me. And this is one of the top of the line trucks. I mean, sure, you could get some insane Ford like F350 or something. But this here is really everything that you need. The power, the interior, the space, the comfort, the looks. It is incredible. If we jump over to comfort here, yep, you even get a heated steering wheel. Okay, you don't get multiple levels on the heated steering wheel. I'm starting to get way too spoiled here. This truck will absolutely spoil you. And, you know, you guys, I'm sure you're aware that the truck market is absurd, right? It's easy to find $100,000 trucks. I don't understand why you'd buy a $100,000 truck when you can get this thing for 80K. Yes, this is a used one, but it's 2022. And as long as, you know, I will say past owners are going to be more likely to abuse a Challenger or a Charger than they are a TRX. So I'd be way more comfortable buying a used TRX than I would any other sort of Hellcat engine vehicle. Even a Trackhawk, probably more likely to be abused. This, I don't know, I feel like this, the owners of this kind of car would respect it more. Guys, even look at the dash. I mean, the materials where you just don't need them, they're there anyway. This is just top of the line everything. And guys, the visibility out of this thing is insane. When you have a small car to the right of you, you can barely see it. You're riding so high in a tank. I'm just gonna call this thing a tank because that's exactly what it is. It's just unlike anything else that I have ever been in. There is stuff in this truck that you probably wouldn't discover the entire time that you've owned it. And that's something that I absolutely love about a vehicle, is when you can own it and it takes you months to figure out all of the hidden features and cool stuff that's inside of it. I've had this thing for about an hour or two and it is incredible. It's just like everywhere I look, I discover something new in this thing. But really, at the end of the day, you just really want to experience the performance, the absurd performance that this one has to offer. By the way, this truck is electronically limited to around 116 miles per hour. Mind you, you really don't want to take a 6,400 pound truck at 150 miles an hour. So I understand that limit. I have no complaints there, but if you're somebody that wants to hit 150, 160, 170, then you're going to be more suited in the Charger or Challenger. The red line in this thing is about 5,700 RPM, and trucks tend to have lower RPMs, especially because the majority of them are diesel. But you know, you don't need more than this. It's just, you floor it, you shift 2 times, you hit the paddle shifters twice, and you're literally at 700 horsepower. It is just amazing. And I have yet to point out one of the elephants in the room. Yes, this supercharger sounds amazing. Oh, that whine, that will never get old. It almost whines louder and better than the jailbreak that I drove. This thing sounds far more menacing than the Challenger Hellcat jailbreak. The exhaust tips are much, much bigger. Yes, this does make 5 less horsepower than a standard Hellcat, but just because you can put the power down, it literally feels just as fast, if not faster, than a Hellcat. But I really do think the whine is more present in this truck. And the sound that comes out of the exhaust is definitely more aggressive. I can say that for sure. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. It is so, so good. Ready? That is absolute madness. That is like, the fact that this can do that is unbelievable. It makes me like cry. I mean, wow, this is a truck just reimagined. I honestly, after this, I would choose this over the jailbreak Challenger 100%. And also with the clearance that this thing has, I mean, we're going over, it's not a curb, but it's just a little bit steep. You don't have to worry about that one bit. I can absolutely see how this thing would just rip on an off-road terrain type of situation. And you can see everything that we've just done inside of this chart. That's so cool. You can see this, it's like sliding over. Oh, that was a nice Audi right there. And these brakes are, yeah, not as good as they could be. I could feel them, you know, starting to just skip just a tad bit. I would not trust doing a hard emergency brake situation in this truck whatsoever. From what I read, you get 6 piston brakes in the front, 4 in the back, but again, you're dealing with a truck that weighs over 6,000 pounds, so there's only so much you can do with bringing this thing to a stop. And as soon as you hit 2,000 RPM in this thing, you can hear that supercharger whine creep up. Ready? Listen. That might be one of the best sounds in the entire world. I am not joking. Whenever I pass a Trackhawk, a Challenger, or a TRX in traffic, and I just hear that supercharger whine go by me, that is just one of the best sounds in the world. And so I hope I'm blessing some people with the sound of this thing today. It is so good. Should you buy one? If you're looking in the $60,000 to $100,000 price range for a truck, I would tell you 100% yes. Let me know what you guys think about this thing in the comments below, and if you would buy one in the truck space. Or would you buy this over a Challenger or Charger Hellcat? Because I think I genuinely would. It flows together much nicer with that Hellcat engine, in my opinion. And this has almost made me a truck person. Never, ever thought I'd say that in my entire life. But this is a different truck. It's definitely a special one. So thank you guys so much for watching. Again, big thank you to Chanel from Mark Fick and Ford. Link to buying this vehicle in the description below, and check out their inventory as well. They have a ton of awesome, cool cars for great prices. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace!